ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the divine and the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 16, the divine and the demoniac natures, Daivi Asuri Sampati Vibhaga Yoga. Text number 4. Dambo Darpo Vimanascha
मोदर्प विमानस्य
Krodha Parushyameva Cha
क्रोधपारुष्यमेव च
Ajnanam Cha Vijatasya
अज्ञानं च विजातस्य
Partha Sampadam Asurim.
पार्थसम्पदम् आसुरीम्.
Okay, thank you. I'll recite once. 16.4 Dambodharpo Abhimanascha Krodha Parushyameva Cha Ajnanam Cha Vijatasya Partha Sampadam Asurim. So word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Translation. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. So, can you just read that small purport, Kishore Madhav Prabhuji?
Yes, Guru.
Yeah.
In this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demonic want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science. Although they do not follow the principles, they are always arrogant and proud in possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability. Although they do not command respect, over trifles they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demonic qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers, and as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Maha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratashe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे यत् कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरु दीनतां श्री चैतन्य। Okay, so welcome back to our study and discussion of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the last 6 chapters. So far, yesterday we discussed the remaining 5 or 6 verses from the uh, uh, chapter number 15, Sarvasya Chaham Vidisannivishto. From there we started, and then we completed the 3 shloki Bhagavad Gita, also this summary of the Vedanta Sutra. And then how, by understanding all this knowledge, one is supposed to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Sarva bhavena, just like that verse is there. Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami. Tesham, aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam. Iti matva bhajante ma. Buddha bhava samam. Buddha bhava samam is the intelligent one with all their hearts. They actually worship. Iti matva, knowing this, what? Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam prabhu. I am the supreme from me. I am the origin of everything. Everything material, spiritual comes from me. Knowing this, the devotees, they, with their full heart, they engage in the service of the Lord. So similarly, the last verse of the 15th chapter says, "Sarvavid sarva bhavena bharata." We should engage in the service of the Lord by knowing the conclusion of the Vedanta Sutra. Fine. And then we also started with the first 3 verses of the chapter number 16, Daivi and Asuri Sampati Vibhag Yoga, where Lord Sri Krishna is going to first tell us about what are the divine qualities. So we had a discussion on those 26 qualities. Anybody would like to recall any other point from yesterday's discussion? Quickly, any 1 or 2 points? Yes, Madhav, Kishore Madhav Prabhuji.
Probably, while discussing these 26 qualities, two good points which you mentioned was Daivi Prakriti people regard scriptures and Asuri Prakriti disregard scriptures. So one good point.
That's mentioned by so many, by Srila Prabhupada so many times in the purports here now we'll study. Anything else? Okay. Anybody else? Remembers any points? Yes, Arun.
We saw division of these 26 qualities based on Varna and Ashram, and that's how Prabhupada also explains in the purport. And then about anger, one thing we saw that anger is one shot of danger, and so this point I like.
Okay, fine. So anger is one word short of danger.
One word.
Yeah, so that's D, which is short. Okay, fine. So vitamin D, devotion, danger. So many words are there from D for devotees. Okay, now let's begin now. There's one quotation. Maybe we read it yesterday. Abhayam we read, but this is something else. Okay, I want somebody to read from the screen. So who will read? Madhav, Kishore Madhav Prabhuji, will you read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, please read.
Abhayam means fearlessness. So we are in this body, material body. There are 4 principles, out of which one is bhayam, fearfulness. What will happen? What will happen? Because I am eternal, na hanyate sharire. But my body is to be annihilated. But because I am, this is psychology. Because I am eternal, I do not want my body to be annihilated. But it will be. Therefore, I am always fearful. When it will be annihilated, is the time come? Is the time come? This is called bhayam. Bhayam dviti bhi sheshta
Bhayam Dvitiya Niveshatya.
because I am identifying with this body, therefore there is fearfulness. And if by knowledge I can understand that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, Aham Brahmasmi, and if you are actually convinced, then there is no fearfulness. In the Western countries, there is only one philosopher, Socrates. He was.
1 second. He was condemned to death.
He was condemned to death because he was speaking that I am soul, I am eternal. That was his fault. But I am eternal, you cannot capture me. So this is knowledge, this is avayam. So it requires very firm knowledge. Na hanyate hanya mane sharire. That is possible. That is possible by jnana. Just like Prahlad Maharaja, his father, demon father Hiranyakashipu, was chastising him in so many ways. But he was not afraid at all, fearless, because he was convinced that I am not this body. I am different from this body. I will not die. It is simply knowledge. firm knowledge, and as soon as you come to that position that I am not this body, then automatically you become abhayam, no fear. There are many instances, just like Dhruv Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy, he went to the jungle, he was sitting alone there, abhayam, abhayam, no fearfulness.
Abhayam, abhayam, no fearfulness. Yes. So Srila Prabhupada was also Abhay Charnar, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He had no fear, and that's how he fearlessly preached all over the world. Fine. So there was a verse which was mentioned from Bhagavatam, Bhayam Dvitiya Abhinivesh. Means Abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means absorbed in something. When somebody is absorbed in what? Dvitiya Abhinivesh. Dvitiya Abhinivesh means something other than, second to Krishna. Something other than Krishna when we are fully absorbed in the matter or in material things, dealing situations, etc. Then the bhaya will is a natural consequence. Then naturally we are fearful. So therefore, as the time passes in our Krishna consciousness, in our devotional service, we need to inculcate or we need to become more and more Krishna conscious. Activities will continue, but talking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, remembering Krishna, seeing Krishna's hand in all the whatever is happening in our lives, others' lives, etc., like that, all around us, that has to be increased. That is the only way, sure way, and only way to reduce the bhayam from our life. Otherwise, as long as the life is there in this material world, bhayam will continue. Okay. Now, so the first section of the 16th chapter was the transcendental qualities in the first 3 verses. Now from 4 to 20 is a long section, almost 16, 17 verses, which Lord will talk about the demoniac qualities and their mentalities, what their thought process is, and their activities, and obviously the consequences of their activities. All these things will be discussed, 16.4 to 20. Fine. And in the last 4 verses, 21 to 24, the 3 gates to hell and the results of disregarding or following the scriptures. That also will be confirmed. So, 16.4 we just saw. There are 6 demoniac qualities mentioned in this. Dambho. Dambha means, we have seen this before. What is Dambha? We have seen 13.8 to 12. We have seen Amanitvam Adambitvam. We have seen something which is not Dambha. So what is Dambha? Here also it is mentioned, Dambha as a demoniac quality. Dambha means?
Pride.
Yes.
Pride.
Dhamma means pride. So when we perform, so amanitvam, adambitvam, these both should be there in the devotee. Amanitvam means not humility, not expecting honor from others. And adambitvam means no duplicitous, not trying to show off that I am a greater devotee than what actually I am. I am at a particular level, but I am trying to show myself as at some another level or higher level than where I am. That is actually Dhamma. And in general, Dhamma means also, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan explains, performing religious duties with the intentions of being known as religious person. Means trying to show I'm religious, but actually I'm sinful or I'm not religious at all. So that's actually Dhamma. Okay. So Dhamma, that is the demoniac quality. Darpa. What is Darpa? Darpa means arrogance. So much of arrogance. Right? This is exactly opposite to what we studied just now. 16.1 to 3, there are divine qualities, and if we just reverse it, then it will become the demoniac qualities. Then abhimanascha, that's self-admiration, excessive pride. Okay, cha. So abhimanascha. So cha, our acharyas they explain, cha means it is now opposite qualities what they have been described earlier. They will come now. Like that, the meaning of cha is being said. So there is a himsa, there is a asatya, there is a tyaga, there is a shanti, there is a paishunam, loluptam. Whatever was divine, opposite of that is also here being mentioned. Some of them, this is not again an exhaustive list. Lord Sri Krishna will mention again few more things as we go further. So, Dambho Darpo Abhimanascha. Abhiman is actually the excessive pride of self-admiration. They demand, they demand the respect, etc. Like Krodha, we all understand the anger, right? One word short of danger, anger. Parushya means harshness. The speech itself is very harsh. Some people, they delight in speaking harshly, right? If you read Bhagavad Gita, I think it will come 17.15. There are 5 or 6 aspects of our speech are described there. So, anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chet swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapo uchyate. What is the austerity of speech? It should have these 6 attributes. Anudvegakaram vakyam. It should not be agitating to others. Satyam. It should be truthful. Priyam. It should be very pleasing to hear. Like that, etc. Satyam, Priyam, Hitam. It should be beneficial to that person. Like that. And regularly reciting the Vedic Vangmayas. Like that. So that is actually the austerity of the speech, but they are parushya. Parushya means they delight in speaking very harshly to the devotees, to the Lord Himself, like that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ajnanam. Ajnanam is actually ignorance. Cha abhijatasya, one who is born. Partha sampadam asurim. Hey Partha, hey Arjuna, those who are born with abhijatasya, born with the demoniac qualities, they will exhibit these 6 demoniac qualities. Right. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. Just like we have Google Map to go from one place to another. Anybody wants to go to hell? This is the Google Map of Bhagavad Gita. In this verse, the royal road to hell is described. So the demoniac want to make a show of religion and advance in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. So if you know, in the Bhagavatam, 7th canto, in the beginning, Prahlad Maharaj's 10 chapters are there. So when the Hiranyaksha is being killed by the Varahadev, then Hiranyakashipu is actually pacifying his mother and the wife of Hiranyaksha, and he's speaking so much about the soul and difference between the body and the soul, etc., etc. So what a philosophy he speaks. If you hear, you will not. If you don't know which section you are reading, if you suddenly start reading or hearing from that particular section without having the background, you will feel maybe the Lord Krishna is only speaking like he was speaking in the 2nd chapter, like that. So wonderful Bhagavatam class is given, but what is he actually following? He's not following. Like Darpa means again this arrogance. They are always arrogant or proud in possessing some type of education or so much of wealth. They are proud of all these 6 opulences, either their beauty, somebody's proud of their beauty, arrogant about their beauty, about their knowledge, about the wealth, about the physical strength, anything like that they have little bit, they're so proud of that. So when you hear all these qualities, are you reminded of any personalities? Anything goes on to your mind in the background? Whom do you think of when you read all these qualities? Are you able to recall any or remember any quality?
Ravana.
Ravana, okay, fine. Kishore Madhav Prabhuji. Kishore Madhav. You are muted. You need to unmute.
Ravana only, I think Mataji said.
Ravana, okay. Everybody's favorite is Ravana, it seems. Okay. Madhav Haridham Prabhuji. Other than Ravana.
Hiranyakashipu.
Hiranyakashipu. Not for Haribol. Okay, Hiranyakashipu. Bhakti Lila Madhav.
King Vena.
King Vena, yes. He was actually very, what do you call that? Demoniac, right from his childhood. When he used to play with his friends, something happens, goes wrong, he used to kill those boys mercilessly, like King Vena. And when he actually used to go to forest and unnecessarily kill all the innocent animals there. And when he actually became, he became king. Actually, he was coronated as a king. Then actually he thought, he's the greatest one, and he started insulting everybody around like that. And that's how then they have to take him down. Okay. So Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, King Vena, Sri Gangaputra Prabhuji, you had some special personality in your mind?
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana, I was looking for this. Duryodhan, arrogance, number one, arrogance, Duryodhana. So I was also expecting somebody to say that, when we read these qualities, it should remind of something happening in our life also. We have been part of this also, right? If we can just read our divine qualities, we may think, oh, I have this, I have that, right? But when we read this demonic quality also, not in the long, long ago, in the very recent past, at least I can say about myself, in the very recent past, not, we don't have to go long back in the history. Just recently, we have all these qualities, being exhibited. Although we are devotees practicing devotional service, but we have so much of, sometimes the damba trying to show where we are not, darpa, arrogance. Especially, we may be very humble in front of the senior devotees, but when it comes to somebody equal, somebody junior, new people, that arrogance comes out actually. Krodha, Parushya, we speak harshly with the devotees also. And that's how we are also in ignorance also, like that. So when we are reading these qualities, we should not think about the famous demons from the scriptures. Yes, that naturally is there, but we should also remind us about our performance, even after coming to Krishna consciousness and practicing devotional service for such a long time. So we need to actually go a long, long way, and we should remind this, yes, this is there in me. So it is said earlier times in the Satya Yuga, the interplanetary fights were going on, demons, demigods and demons, etc. Like interplanetary. Bali Maharaj attacking Indra, etc. like that. And then in the, what is it? Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga, Lord Ram going from Ayodhya and fighting battle, inter islands, is going to Sri Lanka, crossing the ocean. The fight between the demon and divines is inter islands, one island to another island. Then in the Dwapar Yuga, it is within the same place, same island, but within the different cities. From Mathura, from the Mathura, Vrindavan, like that they are going, Dwarka, like that there are fights. But now in Kali Yuga, it is said, the divine and demoniac, they're sitting within us, only within us. They are not outside anywhere in the cities, continents, interplanet. They may be there, but the good dog and the bad dog is within us only. And when the grandfather is telling the story to the grandson about the story of the good dog and bad dog, and then the question is being asked, who will win between the good dog and the bad dog? So what is the answer? I think most of you know this story. What is the answer for this? Kishore Mahaprabhu, yes.
The one whom we feed more.
The one whom we feed the most. Therefore, association is actually very, very important. One devotee is giving a nice analogy. When we are in the association of devotees, at least, the way we chant, the way we speak, we try to be at least aware, at least our faults, because we want to show I'm a good devotee. We're at least aware, and we are actually more careful. When we go to temple and chant there along by sitting in with the devotees, we're at least trying to be very careful for whatever reasons. And at least we try to chant better. But when we are not in association of the devotees, when the devotees are not watching, and seven except the family members, although they are devotee, they know everything about us, right? So when we are not in association of the devotees, we just let go, our things come out, naturally, whatever it is there inside, like that. So he was giving an analogy. There is sometimes, some animals in the forest, they go into the some hole. They have small ditch where they are hiding, and they sometimes come out and watch here and there, everywhere, and see if there is no one, no danger. Then they actually come out, right? So similarly, our behavior with the external devotees, outside devotees, we may be very careful and we may be behaving within the cave or in that ditch. But actually, when there is no devotee around us, right, then our natural instincts and things may actually come out. So whether it is abhiman means to desire respect from others or attachment to wives, sons, and others. And that's actually, I think Baldev Devbhushan says, and Srila Prabhupada says, desire to be worshipped by others, like that. So they try to be, demanding respect rather than commanding it. And krodha, anger, over trifles, they become very angry, Srila Prabhupada says. So we also get angry. Parushya, we discussed this. Cruelty, that's Vena was the personification of the cruelty. And ignorance, they do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. So these demonic qualities are taken on them from the beginning of the bodies in the wombs of their mothers, and as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. Okay. So anybody would like to recall any experience in the recent times you would like to share? Whether you dare to share that without telling the details, but was any in the past whenever you have exhibited these demoniac qualities? You don't have to tell us the details, but what you have to tell us is how did you feel after you exhibited demoniac qualities, and then what are the general principles, what things we can learn from it, and then how would you like to modify them going further? Yes, Kishore Madhav Prabhu is always ready.
Yes, bro. See, I was ready for the answer because when you were discussing, I just contemplated that we mentioned so many examples of demons, but then all these qualities are almost within us, basically. So we are almost some percentage of demon only as living basically. And about your second question, I can very definitely say that unless and until we came into Krishna consciousness, we were defending all these bad qualities. In fact, in my own personal life also, I had all these qualities and I was defending. But after coming to Krishna consciousness and gradually understanding, I have started to realize that the mistakes for current dealing also, and also recollecting that in the past I should not have done this mistake. So this change has definitely happened.
Okay, so at least we are getting aware of our demoniac to this thing. Otherwise, we were unconscious. We thought this is natural only. I'm right and he's wrong, and therefore I got angry, this, that, etc. Okay, fine. Thank you for daring to be sharing like that. Okay, nobody else? Okay. Everybody's seems to be
ISKCON and Prabhupada has made us daring to sharing, Prabhuji.
yes,
Fearless now.
yes. Maybe all others are very divine, so they don't want to share anything. So we'll go ahead, no problem. Yes, Yamuna will ask Prabhuji. Last.
Prabhuji, one of the demonic quality which I think I still have, I won't say that it has completely gone. It's of course we have that lust, anger, greed, and pride, but I have experienced myself in my personal life the lust to enjoy separately from the Lord. That demonic quality is there, and this stages of fall down. That's verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Dayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangaste Supajayate. So I personally find it very helpful. This verse from the Bhagavad Gita, and also His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he mentions in one of his lecture destroying the Ravana within. So he narrates the entire pastime based on this verse, that how the stages of fall down happened with the Ravana, and then Maharaj tells in the solution is we need to take shelter of the holy name, the mantra which was given to Ram, which he used as a weapon while shooting the arrow. So personally, I found this entire lecture and this verse from the Bhagavad Gita very effective in. As I'm saying that it's not that the lust has completely gone. It in a subtle level, it's still there. But yeah, I'm working on it, and the association. And another my recent experience is that the inattentive chanting. Sometimes we chant, doing something parallelly, sometimes driving or this or that. That leads to a lot of anarthas. The anarthas thoughts again coming back. Sometimes we feel that, oh, now the anartha is gone. I become I am initiated devotee now. Anarthas are gone. But as soon as we are inattentive in our chanting, the anarthas again starts popping up. So this is my recent realization. So I request devotees to pray that I can overcome these anarthas which are there within me.
Okay, yes, sure. Thank you. Yes. So devotees also tell us this, Dhyato Vishyan Pumsa. Instead of meditating on the Vishya, we can also increase our meditation on the Nama Rupa Guna Lila also. Okay. Thank you, Glory. So next now, now after telling these 6 demoniac qualities, Krishna is thinking maybe oh, Arjuna is thinking that, because I am participating in the battle and I am going to kill Bhishma and Drona, my worshipable, Guru ni Atvani Mahanubhavan. He said that in the beginning of the second chapter. So maybe he's thinking, oh, I'm also a killer. I'm going to kill my elder ones, the worshipable ones, my guru, my grandfather. So maybe I'm also demoniac in the temperament. So just to clarify to Arjuna, Lord speaks the next verse, 16.5. Daivim sampada vimokshaya nibandaya asurimata masucha sampadam daivim avijato si pandava. Please read Bhakti Lila Mataji. Translation. And the small purport also you can read.
Yes, Guruji. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with divine qualities. Purport. Lord Krishna encouraged Arjuna by telling him that he was not born with demonic qualities. His involvement in the fight was not demonic because he was considering the pros and cons. He was considering whether a respectable person such as Bhishma and Drona should be killed or not. So he was not acting under influence of anger, false prestige, or harshness. Therefore, he was not of the quality of the demon. For Kshatriya, a military man shooting arrow at the enemy is considered transcendental, and refraining from such a duty is demonic. Therefore, there was no cause for Arjuna to lament. Anyone who performed the regulative principle of the different order of life is transcendentally situated.
Okay, thank you. So Srila Prabhupada answers these questions. Many people they say, oh, Arjuna was non-violent in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. He's so good person, non-violent. So Arjuna, before hearing Bhagavad Gita, was he a good person, non-violent? And after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he started fighting and killing. So he became a bad person. So is it that effect of hearing Bhagavad Gita, you go from good to bad person? You become a bad person after hearing Bhagavad Gita. So how will you answer this? I hope you got the question. Yes, Arun.
Yeah, from purport we understood that earlier he was good and now he became transcendentally good. So it is good to transcend in the debate,
Okay.
not bad.
Perfect. Yes, correct. So although the external action may be the same, but the consciousness behind that is completely changed. Earlier, the consciousness was, I am at the center. It is my relative. It is my grandfather. It is my teacher, like that. It is my father-like people, my son-like, sons, etc., etc. Everything was centered around I, and me. That's I consciousness was there. But when he understood Bhagavad Gita, understood the plan of the Lord and his mission, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, and he wanted to establish the Dharma and Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dushkrutam, then actually his consciousness changed and he went from good, he transcended good and bad and actually became the devotee. And as a service, he actually did that as a service. And therefore, karmanyoyi bodhavyam, vikarmanascha bodhavyam, gana, akarma, karmanyoyi api bodhavyam, bodhavyam sha vikarmana, akarmanascha bodhavyam, vikarma, karma, and akarma. So whatever he was thinking earlier, now his activity became a karma. That is no reaction only. That's a transcendental because he's doing in the consciousness of service to the Guru and the Lord Krishna, like that. His Guru and Krishna was, the Guru, Krishna was only his Guru there, like that. Okay, fine. So divine and demoniac natures. There is another quotation here coming up. So shall we read on? Okay, I think I will read it anyhow. Sometimes when we skip it, then later there is no time to read only. So, Madhav Harinam Prabhu, can you please read?
There is nothing secret. Everything is open. So if you develop these qualities, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, etc., then you become qualified with divine possessions. Sampatti. Sampatti means what you possess under your control. So Sampatti, two kinds of Sampatti, divine Sampatti and demonic Sampatti. They are open before you. Now you take out whatever you want. It is up to you. It's not
Hey, we are not able
forbidden.
to hear you, Prabhuji. Can you please come a little closer to the mic? Or shall I ask somebody else to read?
It's closed. Now is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Good.
They are open before you. Now you take up whatever you like. It is up to you. It is not forbidden that Daivi Sampati is meant for a class of men and Asuri Sampati is meant for another class of the men. No. Krishna is open to everyone. Krishna is not monopolized by a certain class of men. Don't think like that Krishna is Indian, Krishna is Hindu, or like that, or Kshatriya. Therefore, he is meant for others. No, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is.
He's everyone's property. He's not. Don't think in that way. Are you able to see now? Next line on the top, just like.
Just like it is stated in the English dictionary. Krishna, one of the Hindu gods. But Krishna does not say that I am the Hindu god. They have made in the dictionary. Krishna, one of the Hindu gods. They have no knowledge about Krishna. So when we come to this platform of knowledge that Daivi Sampada Vimokshaya, then you become liberated immediately. Liberation means to come to the platform of real knowledge. That is called liberation. That is the definition given in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is liberation? Mukti. It is said, Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. Srimad Bhagavatam 2:10-6. Hitva means giving up. Mukti means hitva, giving up. Hitva anyatha rupam, something otherwise. I am spirit soul.
Okay, thank you. So Krishna is not definitely Hindu god. Krishna is for everyone. Next. So now Krishna will further describe the demoniac qualities. He will continue his discussion. 16.6. Dau bhuti sargo lokesmin daiva asura evacha daivo vistarasha prokta asuram partame shuno. Please read. Prasanna Gopal.
O son of Prutha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and another is demonic. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me the demonic.
Okay, Dau bhuti sargo lokesmin. In these worlds, lokesmin, there are two kinds of living entities, of created living beings. Daiva and Asura, divine and demoniac. Daivo Vistarasha Prokta. I described 26 qualities of the divine qualities. Now I already spoken. Asuram Partha Meshwaro. Now you may hear Partha about the demoniac. I only spoke 6, but there is a long list there, so I'm going to speak now further. So the main difference between the divine and demoniac is stated by Srila Prabhupada in this purport. Please read Prabhupada, the small purport also.
Purport. Lord Krishna, having assured Arjuna that he has born with the divine qualities, is now describing the demonic way. The conditioned living entities are divided into two classes in this world. Those who are born with the divine qualities follow a regulated life. That is to say, they abide by the injunctions in scriptures and by the authorities. One should perform duties in the light of authoritative scriptures. This mentality is called divine. One who does not follow the regulative principles as they are laid down in the scriptures and who acts according to his whims is called demonic or asuric. There is no other criteria but obedience to the regulative principles of scriptures. It is mentioned in the Vedic literature that both the demigod and the demons are born of the Prajapati. The only difference is that one class obeys the Vedic injunctions and other does not.
So that's again and again Srila Prabhupada hammers. So the main difference is abiding by the scriptures. Therefore, towards the end of this chapter, Krishna will tell, Tasmat Shastra Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthita. Whatever activities we are doing, that should be based on the scriptures, Guru Sadhu and Shastra. Okay. There is an interesting quotation by Srila Prabhupada about, the demoniac and the ghostly beings. You may find it very interesting. to read that about demoniac and ghostly beings and chanting Hare Krishna. So, Yamuna Vilas Prabhu, can you please read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Chanting Hare Krishna will drive away ghosts and demonic. In New York, when we started this movement, so in the morning at 7 o'clock, we used to hold our class, and there was little sound. Immediately, the tenants from upwards, they will come down and complain. Sometimes they will call for police, and on the street, 2nd Avenue, there is always big trucks and motor cars going on, heavy sound. Then in your country, the garbage carrier sound, the digging sound, so many sound they will tolerate. And as soon Hare Krishna, oh, it is intolerable. This is demonic, the demonic. They will not hear because that will do good to them by hearing. They will not accept it. It is practically experienced. I know that the ghost, if you go in a house ghostly haunted, if you chant Hare Krishna mantra, they will go away. They cannot tolerate. In my life, there were several incidences like that. In my household life, I was
1 second. Yes.
I was doing business in Lucknow. So there was one house, very big house, worth thousands of rupees rent. But it was ghostly haunted. So nobody would take that house. It took it at 200 rupees. I took it at 200 rupees. And very big house. And all the servants, they complained, "Sir, there is a ghost." So I was chanting. He was living in several spots, especially on the gate side. So I could understand, but I would chant Hare Krishna and I was saved. Everyone was saved. There was, and say, in 1969, I was guest in the house of John Lennon in London. So there was a ghost in. It was a big plot. There was a guest house. So they complained, "Sir, here is a ghost." So I advised them to chant Hare Krishna, and the ghost went away. Yes, this is fact. When there is Hare Krishna chanting, these ghostly demonic living entities, they will not be able to stay there. They will go away.
Thank you. Very interesting. I don't know if anybody of you had a similar experience in your life or you witnessed or heard about it, but that's the one. And sometimes we have the other way experience also. These demoniac people, because they have got post position and authority, they may uh, actually stop us from actually chanting Hare Krishna. Recently in the Kerala Yatra, we were there in the one of the railway stations, and actually, we were, because there was a time for the train to come, we were doing this Harinam Sankirtan on the platform, and immediately we were confronted by the local authorities, the railway police. They came, and there was a little bit agitation, and they stopped us. Some devotees said, "No, no, please don't stop us." This, that. They were a little bit aggressive. But later on, everybody, they calmed down, and the police actually stopped us from doing the Harinam Sankirtan on the platform, because they were saying it is disturbing to others. Like maybe the more people there from the other faith or whatever. So that's the state now currently. Yes. Okay, fine. So let's go ahead next. Now about their further qualities, their natures, their activities, about the demons. 16.7. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasura na shaucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Please read. Anuradha Mataji, will you be able to read?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them.
Okay, thank you. No, it's okay. I will explain. Pravrittim cha nivrittim. So many places in Bhagavatam also Prabhupada writes about this pravritti and nivritti. In another meaning of pravritti and nivritti, which is not here, which is not meant here, but which Srila Prabhupada explains, pravritti means the path of enjoyment. You progress by going through the enjoyment, and nivritti means path of renunciation. Right from the beginning of the life, you renounce enjoyment and you take to life, spiritual life, very seriously. So those are the two broad ways, going further, pravritti and nivritti. But here pravritti and nivritti means, Srila Prabhupada writes, pravritti means acting properly and nivritti means not acting properly. So you can say pravritti nivritti here means do's and don'ts, vidhi and nishedh in the scriptures. Sarve vidhi nishedhayor etayor eva kinkaram. Smartavyam satatam vishnu vismartavya rajatu chit. Sarve vidhi nishedhayor etayor eva kinkaram. That means you should always remember Krishna. That's a vidhi. And nishedh is never forget Krishna. Same thing is being told positively and negatively. So do's and do nots. Vidhi means do's, nishedh means do nots. And all the other scriptural rules are subservient to these two principles. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, pravritti means dharma and nivritti means adharma. Same thing in different manner. You know, what is to be done as per the scripture, what is not to be done. So, dharma and dharma, like that. So, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidu asura. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada again highlight the same point. They do not know what to do, what not to do, because they do not follow scriptures. Therefore, they do not understand dharma and adharma. In every civilized human society, there is some set of scriptural rules and regulations which is followed from the beginning, especially among the Aryans. Those who adopt the Vedic civilization and are known as the most advanced civilized people, those who do not follow the scriptural injunctions are supposed to be demons. So Aryans means, you know, we saw this Arya word in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita also. Kudastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasitam anaryam jushtam aswargam akirtim karama. So where from these impurities come upon you at this stage when the fight is about to begin? The conchs have been blown and now you are talking about, I mean, not fighting. So these are the impurities at this point, and these are anaryam, ajushtam, aswargam. These are not, this will not take you to Swarga. This will bring you infamy. You will not become famous. And it will be un-Aryan. It will be most uncivilized. Because Aryans, there Srila Prabhupada also explains, Aryans means those who follow God consciousness, those who follow scriptural rules and regulations in Vedic system, like that. Therefore, it is stated there here that the demons do not know the scriptural rules, nor do they have any inclination to follow them. Most of them do not know them. And even if some of them know, they have not the tendency to follow them. They have no faith, or nor are they willing to act in terms of Vedic intention. In the Transcendental Knowledge, 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Adnyasya ashraddhanasya samshayatma vinashati nayam loko astino paro na sukhi samshayatma. So there are three categories of people. Adnyasya, they don't know what are the scriptures, rules, and regulations. They're completely ignorant. Adnyasya. Ashraddhanasya, they know, sometimes they're able to quote also, but ashraddhana, they don't have any faith. And samshayatma means they know scriptures, they may quote also, they may know Krishna is the supreme, they might have heard it, but they doubt whether it is really the case, like that. Therefore, they don't worship Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So all these three categories, they have been condemned like that. So something similar here, it is being stated by Sri. Na shaucham, they are not clean either externally or internally. Any one of them. So sometimes we may see something externally very clean, but internally they are not so much. Somebody, you know, visited China, Singapore, Southeast Asian countries, you know, they were telling, actually, if you see, go on the road, everything is sparkling clean there. You can even comb also in the road, like so much cleanliness is there externally. But, and you know, you cannot speed in the public on the road here, there, you will be fined, you know, so many things, rules and regulations. Very clean externally. But there are no pubs, bars, there are restaurants where you can go and you can demand and you can drink, you know, the blood of some animals. You know, you can demand, oh, I want this, I want that. Animals' blood also you can take. So what is the use of having all that external cleanliness? So either externally or internally. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells, there's one pastime about the devotees going to Rangoon in Burma. And, you know, they found what? The people, local people there, they were actually putting dead animals into some barrel, letting them decompose there. And what was their special drink, festival drink? when they're completely decomposed, it's rotting like anything, smelling like anything, they will take out the juice and they will drink it on special. And when the devotees were cooking in the ghee, they were actually frying puris in the pure ghee. The neighbors, they were complaining, oh, what kind of bad smell it is coming. What you guys are doing like that to the devotees, they were complaining. So this is Kali Yuga Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. External cleanliness. So Srila Prabhupada mentions external cleanliness, cleaning the body by bathing, brushing, shaving, bathing, changing clothes, etc. So when Dhruva Maharaj, this comes many times in Bhagavatam purports, Prabhupada explains, we have to eat, whether we are sannyasi, grihastha, we have to at least bathe 3 times in a day. So it may be very difficult, but at least twice. Recently we had so many devotees, they had Brahmanical initiation recently, right? In the Govardhan village, many of them. So it is very easy, Shamo, Damo, Tapas, Saucham, etc. It is being described the Brahmanical qualities. But to actually become a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, bathing 3 times a day, it's very, very, sometimes at least twice we can try like that. So Dhruva Maharaj is being explained by Narad Muni when he's going into forest. He gives him the Dwadashaka mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He gives him the process of worshipping. And also tells him, take 3 times bath in the Yamuna river, like that. Because the water is very, very auspicious, water is very sacred, and water, when it is clear, it has a very purifying effect, like that, it is being said. And how do you maintain cleanliness internally? Chanting Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, like that is the internal cleanliness. Cheto Darpanam Arjunam, just like we recite every day in the morning. Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Sarva Atma Snapanam. Snapanam means taking bath. When we take bath externally, we feel so refreshed, right? So Atma Snapanam means bathing the self, bathing the soul in what? In the water of the holy name. Just like after taking bath, you feel fresh. Similarly, by chanting, proper chanting, we are supposed to feeling fresh. Our consciousness especially seems to be bathing in the water of the holy name of the Lord. Like, so that's about the internal external cleanness. Na api cha acharo. Acharo means behavior. They don't have proper behavior. So as far as behavior, there are many rules and regulations among the human behavior, such as Manu Samhita, which is the law of the human race. Even up to today, those who are Hindu follow the Manu Samhita. Laws of inheritance and other legalities are derived from this book. Now in the Manu Samhita, it is clearly stated that a woman should not be given freedom. That does not mean that women are to be kept as slaves, but they are like children. Children are not given freedom, but that does not mean that they are kept as slaves. Why this discussion is coming? Because now we are talking about behavior and activities of the demons, their tendencies, their thought process. So the demons have now neglected such injunctions and they think that women should be given as much freedom as men. However, this has not improved the social condition of the world. So what is this proper behavior as far as women are considered? Actually, a woman should be given protection at every stage of life. She should be given protection by father in her younger days, by husband in her youth, and by grown-up sons in her old age. This is proper social behavior according to Manu Samhita. But not following such scriptural injunctions. Modern education has artificially devised a puffed up concept of womanly life, and therefore marriage is practically now an imagination in human society. The social condition of women is thus not very good. Now, although those who are married are in a better condition than those who are proclaiming their so-called freedom. Talking about so-called freedom, recently in America, sometime back, I think last year, there was a lot of agitation. It's always there again and again about the issue of abortion. So there are some people who say, no, it should not be allowed legally. It should not be legal. And some people say, no, it is our life. It is our freedom. Why you tell us what should we do, what should not do? It should be allowed. It is our choice, like that. So you will find also all over the world, there are many different countries who have different laws, legalities as far as abortion is concerned. Some they completely ban it, some they are actually allow it, some allow it up to certain period, up to 24 weeks, etc. So my question to you is, why do you think there is so much of difference, different legalities for regarding abortion? Why there is not one single rule all over the world? Why people differ as far as their opinion about the abortion is concerned? Any clue? Any thought on this? No? Yes, Madhav, Kishore Madhav.
Basically, for two reasons. One situation is by willingness the pregnancy happens, and the other situation is by force the pregnancy happens. So these are two. All the opinions are found between these two extreme situations. Very good.
Okay, fine. Yaman Avilas.
Prabhuji, basically the people are not following scriptural injunction. So, they have different understanding that when the fetus grows in the body and when the life comes into that. So, if one follows scriptures, then there will be one law, and then there will be, this case will not happen.
Yes, perfect. Okay, kind. Yes, I think so. That's all. That's the correct point. Yes. So yes, as Madhav, Kishore Madhav Prabhuji also stated, in India also it is allowed only under certain circumstances, when there is crime takes place, then maybe, or when there is sometimes danger to the woman's life, and either you have to choose between the mother and the child. Maybe sometimes they allow in very exceptional cases, but generally it is banned. But in some countries, religious countries, so-called, is completely banned. And because they say you have no life, you cannot create life, so you have no right to take life also. And some countries, of course, they have talk about, they just think it's a mixing of some chemicals. So it is just we go to chemical laboratory, mix some chemicals and throw it to the basin. So you don't, I mean, it's just like that. They don't consider anything. So they just want freedom. And on the pretext of freedom, they don't want to take any responsibilities like that. So those who are pro-life and they're pro-choice, pro-life people, they say actually, it is living right from the conception, as of course, we know from the third canto of Bhagavad, when Kapil Deva describes to Mother Devati about the movements of the living entity in the womb of a mother, 31st chapter in third canto, very detailed, right from the conception. But some also they have this understanding that um, anything that grows must be living. Anything that is dead, it cannot grow. Because some people say only when the mother is feeling the movement in the child, in the womb, that is the time when the life has come. At certain point, life ends. No, life enters right from the time of conception only, and that's how the fetus grows. It grows because it is living. Okay. So because they don't follow scriptures, they have no understanding from the scriptures. They make their own rules and regulations whimsically. Therefore, all these difference of opinions are there, and they're more focused on their freedom than the responsibility. Modern era means it is about talking about freedom, and the Vedic culture means it talks about your responsibility. Responsibility of the teacher, of the student, of the guru, of the disciple, of the king, of the citizens, of the husband, of the wife. Everybody has a responsibility. Nobody can run away from that. No satyam, untruthfulness. Okay. So they, of course, they concoct philosophy. Last time also we saw Satya means Bhagavad Gita as it is, not to distort the truth and mislead the other peoples. Right. The next one, philosophy of the demons, Asatyam 16.8. Asatyam pratishtham te jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim anyat kama hetukam. Please read, Arun Prabhu.
Translation. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust.
So various philosophies or so-called philosophers, they're, especially the demoniac ones, how they think about the whole creation, etc. Whether it is a big bang or it is a big brain, So that's the point. So asatyam, it is actually unreal. Apratishtam, there is no foundation. There is no cause like that. Jagat ahur anishwaram. Anishwaram means it is without any controller. It is going on, in its own like that. Aparaspar, it is natural. What is the need of creation, the controller, etc. Okay, you send a satellite, small satellite, it needs a controller, but the huge masses floating in the air with huge velocities, they don't need any control. Aparaspara sambhutam, there is no cause. The effect is without any cause. It is automatic, by chance, etc. Kim anyat kama hetukam. What prayojan, what purpose is there other than enjoying? Therefore, beg, borrow, or steal, but live life king size and enjoy life like that. That is their philosophy. So Srila Prabhupada, this is, he says, asatyam apratishtamte jagat ahura vishwa. The demoniac conclude that the world is phantasmagoria, means it's dream, imagination. Just like Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, they say it is unreal, it is not true. And then, although it is a dream like, they're very much, demoniac people are very much enjoying this dream, enjoying this material world, like that. Srila Prabhupada says, there is no cause and effect, no controller, no purpose, everything is unreal. They say that this cosmic manifestation arises due to chance, material actions and reactions. They do not think that the world was created by God for a certain purpose. They have their own theory that world has come about in its own way and that there is no reason to believe that God is behind it. For them, there is no difference between the spirit and matter. They do not accept the supreme spirit. Everything is matter only, and the whole cosmos is supposed to be a mass of ignorance. According to them, everything is void, and whatever manifestation exists is due to our ignorance in perceptions. Earlier times when we used to see Hindi movies, how the villains, as soon as the villains used to come on the screen, we can come to know, oh, this guy is the villain. Why? Because either he's having some black putty on his eye, some big mole here on the cheek, some weird hairstyle, or etc. So we come to know this guy is the villain. But when you used to see English movies, the demon, you will not recognize who's actually the hero and who's the demon, because the demon is also, the villain, not the demon, sorry. The villain is also wearing the suit, and he's also handsome, good looking, smart guy. So only towards the end, maybe you will come to know he's the demon. So why I'm telling this, because nowadays modern people, they are the demons like the villains in the English movie. They may be having very high social position, they may be very good looking, they may be in the leadership position, they may be having social status, money, etc., etc. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, their thought process is different, because they're outright atheist. There was one British scientist, from the beginning of his life, he's in the wheelchair. He's no more there now. He was in the wheelchair, and he's a very celebrated scientist. But his theory is there is no God. Everything, there is other explanation. He writes about, big answers to big questions. And he doesn't accept, because some people, they say, he had this disability because it may be the curse of God. And he said, no, there's another explanation. Everything is, happening, laws of nature, etc., etc. Word jugglery they will play around, and like that. So many people you will find, Karl Marx, the communist person, Nietzsche, Sigmund Freud, Richard Dawkins. They're all they're acharyas. This is their parampara. They're all the asuric mentality or the demoniac parampara, where they outrightly atheist. Asurim bhavam ashrita, like that, like that. And in the Vedic culture also, if you see, in the Vedic culture also, we had this Mayavadi philosophies, impersonalist, the Charvak philosophers. Srila Prabhupada writes, just because somebody speaks Sanskrit does not mean they are, very scholarly, or they're right. What Charvak says, Rinam kutva gunam pebet yavat jivet sukham jivet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya kutah punar agamano bhave. You take loan and eat items, made in ghee. Enjoy life full size, explore your senses. Runam krutva ghrunam pivet. Yavat jivet sukham jivet. As long as you live life, enjoy. Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya. Once the body is being burnt to ashes, kutha punarag. Who has seen there is a soul, there is a karma, you come back, there is a reincarnation. Chodo everything. Who has seen that, right? Like all these Mayavadis, they have this, earlier also we discussed their big Mahavakyas, Tattvamasi or Soham, Aham Brahmasmi. They misinterpret like that. Therefore, these Mayavadis are also the greatest offenders actually. They are also demoniac. They don't go to impersonal Brahmajyoti. Therefore, them hell is awaiting. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Mayavadi aparadhi. Mayavadi bhasha sune hoi sarvanash. Because they are offenders at the lotus feet of Lord. So Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, they take it granted that all manifestation of diversity is a display of ignorance. Just as a dream, we may create so many things which actually have no existence. Then when we are awake, we shall see that everything is simply a dream. Factually, although the demons say that life is dream, they're very expert in enjoying this dream. And so instead of acquiring knowledge, they become more and more implicated in the dreamland. Prabhupada has been very sarcastic here. Right? Dreamland. And aparaspara sambhutam means kim anyat kama hetukam. Aparaspara sambhutam means no cause and effect. Everything is zero. Shunyavadi, Buddhist philosophy, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says. They conclude that a child is simply the result of sexual intercourse between a man and woman. The world is born without any soul. For them, it is only a combination of matter that has produced the living entities. There is no question of the existence of soul. As many living creatures come out from perspiration and from dead body without any cause, the whole living world has come out of material combination of the cosmic manifestation. Therefore, material nature is the cause of this manifestation. There is no other cause. So, if you remember, we spoke about this Tandul Chikna. The scorpion is coming out of this rice, and somebody says he's born of rice only. Like that, these demonic people, they say everything is coming from Prakriti, nature, it is law of nature. Everything has been naturally. There is no cause behind it. Okay. So Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says the world does not arise from the intercourse between men and women. Aparaspara sambhutam, or like a potter produces a pot with intention. Since the parents produce a child with lack of knowledge, even after men and women enjoy one time only, children appear. Thus, creation takes place by its own nature, spontaneously, by nature's inherent properties. And there is no Ishwara, Jagat Ahur Anishwaram. They do not believe the words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dekshana Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Under my direction, the whole material world is moving. So, according to them, one interpretation of the scripture is as good as another, for they do not believe in a standard understanding of the scriptural injunctions. So, like that. So, shall we take a break here now and come back after 5 minutes and then continue further? So, if you have any questions, any comments, any doubts, please park them and we shall discuss them at the end of our time, 1:30. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, so we completed. Okay, 16.9. So now the demoniac activities will be described in the next almost 9-10 verses. 16.9. Etam drishtimavashtabhya nashtatmano alpabuddhaya prabhavanti ugrakarmana kshayaya jagato hita. Please read. Kishore Madhav.
Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible work meant to destroy the world.
Okay. Fine. So please read the purport also.
The demonic are engaged in activities that will lead to the world of destruction. The Lord states here that they are all less intelligent. The materialists who have no concept of God think that they are advancing, but according to Bhagavad Gita, they are unintelligent and devoid of all sense. They try to enjoy this material world to the utmost limit, and therefore always engage in inventing something for sense gratification. Such materialistic inventions are considered to be advancement of human civilization, but the result is that people grow more and more violent and more cruel to animals and cruel to other human beings. They have no idea how to behave towards one another. Animal killing is very prominent amongst demonic people. Such people are considered the enemies of the world because ultimately they will invent or create something which will bring destruction to all. Indirectly, this verse anticipates the invention of nuclear weapon of which the whole world is today very proud. At any moment, war may take place, and this atomic weapon may create havoc. Such things are created solely for the destruction of world, and this is indicated here. Due to godlessness, such weapons are invented in human society. They are not meant for peace and prosperity of the world.
Okay, yes. So many times Srila Prabhupada used to say, although they are made United Nations, nations are not uniting, they are more and more becoming disuniting. And what is real United Nation? Krishna consciousness is the real United Nation. Otherwise, all this what they are doing is Prabhavanti Ugra Karmanam. Ugra Karmanam means they are actually flourishing in the painful activities. Ugra Karma. Kshayaya Jagato Ahita. That is going to bring the destruction of the whole world, like that. So some of the things which you see around us, can you categorize them about in this category? Ugra Karmanam, painful activities, or that which will bring the ahit of the jagat, that will bring the destruction of the jagat. Some of the things you observe around you in the world today. What are those some of these things which can fit into this category? Can you name them? Like Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the nuclear bomb, one thing. Yes, Kishore Madhu Prabhu.
Yeah, like even destroying forest is also not good for humans.
So we see this now, temperatures are rising everywhere. Can you imagine few years back, it was very difficult to imagine something going beyond 45, 50. Now it seems they're crossing 50, 55, 60 degrees centigrade. Wow. Because so much of forest deforestation, even the roads are made concrete, the farms are disappeared, and concrete jungles and concrete high-rise buildings are coming up there. So much of pollution, so much of exhaust, then carbon dioxide is being released into the air, water is being polluted. All these are actually under the Ugra Karma. Yes, Madhav Harinam.
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, there are only side effects only of this material advancement or scientific advancement. So these scientists, they are learning chemistry. They are discovering many type of chemicals so that they just put syringe in the vegetables, and then vegetable grew so quickly. And due to consumption of such vegetables, now many these ladies Matajis are being infertile. They cannot bear children. So whatever they are producing due to this chemical, and also they are producing such type of manure that they are just destroying the soil, and there is the crop production is going low. So everywhere there is only destruction only, as mentioned in this sloka. No good thing we can achieve from them, those who are not devotee of the Lord.
Yes, everywhere chemicals are there. Chemicals everywhere. Even if you see the milk, we are trying to drink cow's milk, but we know that whether we are drinking cow's milk or we are drinking urea and what all mixed with that. And so much of pesticides being hampered, all the genetically modified fruits and vegetables. There is no taste in that, and plus so many chemicals, and all the chemicals we are consuming. Cancer is on the rise, and people are trying to find out what is the cause of cancer, this, that, etc. Yes, everything is Jagato Ahita. And recently we had this pandemic, Corona. Somebody says, oh, it may be a biological, in the next generation, biological weapon. That means you don't have to put nuclear bomb also nowadays on the enemy countries. You just leave some, uh, virus like this, and all this, these drone attacks, and they will use robotics, artificial intelligence, whatnot. We don't know how it is going to bring all the destruction of the Jagato Ahita. It's not going to be beneficial. They cannot find cure to the death, although they claim in future we shall, but they're only bringing the death or uh, destruction earlier. That's all they can do. Okay, fine. So next one, demoniac mentality now. 16.10. Kamamashritya dushpuram dambhamanam adanvita mohat gruhitva asad grahan pravartante asuchivrataha. Please read. Aruna Mataji, can you read or not? You're able to read or not? Okay. Bhakti Lila Mataji, you can please read.
Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusion, are always sown to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Impermanent,
yes.
impermanent.
Taking shelter of the insatiable lust. Kamam ashritya dushpuram. Dushpuram means it is insatiable. Lord Krishna told in the 3rd chapter also, Avrutam Dhyanam Etena Jnanino Nityavairinam. Kamarupena Kaunteya Dushpurena Analenacha. Just like if you put fuel into the fire, fire will not distinguish. Similarly, you try to satisfy the lust, it will not extinguish. It will burn with more vigor, like fuel putting into the fire, like that. And these demons, they actually take shelter of the lust only. The demon have no saturation for the lust. They will go on increasing and increasing their insatiable desires for material enjoyment. Prabhupada mentions that, yes, enjoy, I mean, as long as the material body is there, bodily demands will be there, ahar, nitra, bhaya, maitun. But they should be done in what? In a moderate manner, not exuberant, or, it should be like a salt. Salt, if it's not there, you may not be able to eat it. And, if it is too much of salt also, it is very difficult, like that. So they are taking the kamam ashritya dushpura. So Ravana was the personification of the lust, and he was advised by so many that give up Sita, it will bring your destruction. You have so many queens, ladies at your disposal in your palace. Why you want only Sita? But that is what is the nature of these demons. Kamam ashritya dushpura. It will not. And moha gruhitva asadgraha. Asadgraha means that which is being accepted, which is temporarily. They accepted a temporary body, non-permanent things. Although they are always full of anxieties on account of accepting a non-permanent things, they still continue to engage in such activities out of illusion, moha. They have no knowledge and cannot tell what they are heading, cannot tell that they are heading in the wrong way. Like Asuchi vrata means unclean vow, accepting non-permanent things. Such demons people create their own god, create their own hymns and chant according. You will be surprised to know there are temples of Ravana, there are temples of Duryodhana in India, many places, some places in the south. The result is that they become more and more attracted to do things, sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. The word asuchivrata, unclean vows, is very significant in this connection. Such demoniac people are only attracted by wine, women, gambling, meat eating. Those are asuchi, unclean habits. So Kali Yuga resides wherever these four things they go on. Therefore, Parishit Maharaj actually asked him to go away, but then he asked for additional place in the where this accumulated gold is there, excessive gold is there, so he can stay there also, like that. So based on these principles only, the four pillars of dharma and four pillars of adharma, Srila Prabhupada introduced during the initiation, the regulatory principles which we need to follow. Okay. And then we discuss so many things, asuchi vrata, the abortions, animal killing, live-in relationships, social media, everything is accounting for this. Next two verses, their attitude and their engagements. Chinta, 11 and 12 verse. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashita kamopabhoga parama eta vaditi nischita asha pasha shatarbaddha kama krodha parayana ihante kama bhogartham anyayena artha sanchayan. Please read, Arun Prabhu. 11-12.
Yes, Prabhu. Translation. They believe that to gratify the senses is the primary necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by legal means for sense gratification.
Okay. Until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Chintam aparimeyam cha. Pralayanta means until the pralay time, until the death of this body, they are full of anxiety. They have taken shelter of the anxieties only, like that. Because kama bhoga parma, they want to explore their senses and they think, this is actually the life. Recently there's an ex-president of a big country. He's been fighting for his so many court cases, and he's been involved in so many frauds, you know uh, criminal ways, dealing in the money with the woman, politics, abusing the power. So many court cases are going, and he's almost towards the end of his life now. So although he has many billions and billions of dollars, how much anxiety he must be going every day, every night, how he must be able to peacefully sleep. I wonder actually, And then actually we are supposed to retire from our material life at the age of 50 and, completely dedicate ourselves to God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So for that person, chintam apariyamam, what is the consciousness? God consciousness and Krishna consciousness, nowhere in the picture only, like that. So this is actually practically we can see till the end of their life, they're actually doing this. And Prabhupada mentions from his personal experience that we have personal experience of a person such demoniac mentality who, even at the point of death, was requesting the physician to prolong his life for 4 years more because his plans were not complete. Srila Prabhupada explains when he was in India, in Allahabad, one place, he had a friend. He was actually a very rich businessman, and he was dying at in the 50s. He was actually on the deathbed, and he was requesting doctors, doctor, please, can you at least leave me? Allow me or give me some medicine so that I can live for next at least 4 years. I have some plans to actually fulfill. And Srila Prabhupada in the lecture he mentions, oh, doctor, what to speak of doctor? Even if the doctor's fathers or doctor's father's father also comes, he cannot, or even if scientists come, they cannot prolong anybody's life. No, sir. 4 years, not even 1 minute also they cannot extend. As soon as the time is there, you have to go immediately. Right? So that is there actually till the end of their life. Goal of life is to sense gratification, and the plans are unending. So just like Kama, Krodha, Parayana, we have Narayana Parayana, you must have heard. Vasudeva Parayana. Vasudeva Parayana or Narayana Parayana means what? One who is devoted, completely dedicated to Narayana, devoted, attached to Narayana. And here the demonic people are Kama, Krodha, Parayana. They're completely attached to Kama and Krodha, like that. The demonic person who has no faith in God or super soul within himself performs all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. He does not know that there is a witness sitting within his heart. So we should be also aware as a devotee, right? Oh, there is a witness in my heart constantly watching, right? The super soul is observing the activities of the individual soul. As stated in the Upanishads, there are two birds sitting on the same one tree. One is acting and enjoying or suffering the fruits of the branches, and the other one is witnessing. But one who is demoniac has no knowledge of the Vedic scriptures, nor he has any faith. Therefore, he feels free to do anything for sense enjoyment, regardless of the consequences. They're actually blinded by Kama Krodha Para. So if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, Ajamil section, there's a discussion between the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas. So Vishnudutas are asking questions and Yamadutas are answering. So at one point they say, all the sinful peoples, we actually catch them. And what is the proof this person is sinful? There are 13 witnesses. There are 13 people who are actually watching, witness, just like we said, Upadrushta, Anumanta. Upadrushta means observing all the time. So super soul is there, one, that's a major witness all the time. But apart from that, they say there are 5 gross elements. Bhumir, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham. All of them are actually watching. Okay. Then there are 3 times, the daytime, evening time, and the night time. 8. There are 13 of them. Then there are two demigods and directions. All the directions, 10 directions and demigods. They're all constantly, they're actually watching us like that. So that's 5 plus 3 plus 2, 10. And then there are sun and the moon all the time, either the daytime or night time. So these are the 12. And the super soul or the Paramatma. All the time they're actually witnessing like that. So it is said about the super soul, the witness, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when in the Naimisharanya the discussion is going on, there it is said one name is animation. Animation means one who does not blink his eyes. The Paramatma is said to be animation, means ऐसा नहीं कि झपकी मारा कुछ तो भी, like we in chanting in Bhagavatam we just doze off or blink our eyes. So Paramatma is not even blinking, he is constantly witnessing day and night whatever is going on. Not only 24 hours, 7 days a week, all the months, years, all the lifetimes, he is actually watching. And of course, we know Lord Jagannath Ji. Lord Jagannath Ji has so big eyes, and no palak only, no palak to jhapak, right? And there's no eyelids only like that for it. Of course, it is also said Lord Jagannath Ji also watches even small service we do. Lord will never forget. He will actually ignore all our nonsense activities. But small service also he is watching very carefully. Therefore, he has big eyes also. Like Ihante kama bhogatam anyanena artha sanchaya. That means for kama bhog, anyani, with that lawful, unlawful, they will just do artha sanchaya. They accumulate money. Earlier it is said dharma, artha, kama, moksha. There are 4 purusharthas. Every purusha, every woman, every human being should pursue these 4 goals. They follow dharma, they accumulate artha, money, then they gratify the senses, kama, and then moksha. They should also think about the moksha. These are the 4 purusharthas goal. Of course, the pancham purusharth is a bhakti. But nowadays people, where is the dharma and moksha? They don't talk about dharma and moksha. They talk about only artha and kama. Accumulate money somehow. Money is honey, somehow or the other. And then kama, gratify the senses. Recently, in some time back, there was a very sophisticated lady in India. She was actually well educated from a very high social background. She was a chairwoman of a very big and famous bank in India. And she was actually maybe some Padma Bhushan or whatever award she has got. And she is being jailed now. She's in the jail for thousands and thousands of crores of rupees of fraud. Some loan is given here, where this way, that way, to her husband's some connect only itself, networking, like that. And in India, of course, there's no dearth of politicians, people, there's another lady in the south. She's also no more now, but she had this court case going on her for disproportionate assets. Means her salary is something, but her assets are beyond what she's earning actually officially. So disproportionate assets. Although she was single lady, no spouse, no family members, nothing, no children, only no husband. But still, she lives in a big palatial bungalow. She has almost 25 air conditioners fitted into her bungalow. She has maybe tens and thousands of saris. She has thousands of shoes, 7,000 pairs of shoes. You don't know how many, at least in once in a lifetime, whether she has wore all of them or not. We don't know. So, like that, she was, this thing. And not if this is not sufficient, she will give freebies to the people. Oh, all the students computer free from her, but they will have a on the laptop. They will have photo of that lady. For it, they will give some 4 grams of gold, and they will do corruption in there. I mean, all the girls who are getting married there, they will give some free gold. But where are they giving this free? Not from their pocket, from the government treasury, like that. And on government treasury, they will loot for themselves, for others, and they will be in the power also. Kama bhogartha, anyanena artha sanchay. Okay. Next, 13, 15, 13, 14, 15 now. Idam idam maya labdham imam prapse manortham idamastim idam apime bhavishyati punardhanam असोमया हतम शत्रु हनिष्ये चापरानपि ईश्वरोऽहम् अहं भोगी सिद्धोऽहं बलवान सुखी आढ्योऽपि जनवानस्मि कोऽन्योऽस्ति सदृशो मया यक्षे दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञान विमोहिता. Like that. Please read. Yamuna Vilas Prabhu. 3 verses.
Yes, Prabhuji. Are you sharing on the screen, Prabhuji, or just
No, you have or no, you don't have. 16 point, 13, 14, 15. 3 verses together.
Okay. The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
So I think there is no purport, but Srila Prabhupada, this is typical to Srila Prabhupada. He will sometimes cover in the next purport the previous verses also. 16.16. Now, what is their destination of such demoniac with this such thought process and activities? Aneka chitta vibranta mohajala samavruta prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu cho. Yes, please read. Sri Gangaputra Prabhuji, can you read? 16.16. Or shall I ask somebody else?
No, but known by network of illusion.
Okay, I think there's some problem with the this thing. Your networking, your voice, although you have switched off your video, it is not clear. So no problem. I'll just read that translation. 1 second. So, thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into the narake asucha, means being unclean. They fall down into the like. Fine. So we can just read these purports where Srila Prabhupada talks about the case of Ravana. So three devotees, they can read this. Can you read Arun Prabhuji? Yes, Gangaputra, Sri Gangaputra Prabhuji, you want to?
Yes.
You are able?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Yes,
please
Prabhuji.
read.
First I do.
Yeah.
The demonic man knows no limit to his desire to acquire money. That is unlimited. He thinks only of how much assessment of he has just now and schemes to engage that stock of wealth further and further. For that reason, he does not hesitate to act in any sinful way. and so deals in a black market for illegal gratification. He is enamored by the possessions he has already, such as land, family, house, and bank balance, and he is always planning to improve them. He believes in his own strength, and he does not know that whatever he is gaining is due to his past good deeds. He is given an opportunity to accumulate such things, but he has no conception of past causes. He simply thinks that all his mass of wealth is due to his own endeavor. A demonic person believes in the strength of his personal worth, not in the law of karma. According to birth in a high family or becomes rich or very well educated or very beautiful because of good works in the past. The demonic think that all these things are accidental and due to the strength of one's personal ability. They do not sense any arrangement behind all the varieties of people, beauty and education. Anyone who comes into the competition with such a demonic man is his enemy. There are many demonic people and each is enemy to others. This enmity becomes more and more deep between persons, then between families, then between societies, and at last between nations. Therefore, there is constant strife, war, and enmity all over the world.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Yes. So here Srila Prabhupada is writing, a demoniac person believes in the strength of his personal worth, not in the law of karma, like that. So in the first canto, also Srila Prabhupada writes, where there is a description of the kingdom of how nice rule was there of King Yudhishthir Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada writes, in the reign of Yudhishthir Maharaj, everything was so nice. The rains used to happen only in the night time. There were sufficient rains. There were sufficient vegetables, fruits, food grains, and not only that, even in the ocean they were getting sufficient jewels, valuable gems, etc., etc. Everything was nice. The weather was also nice. Everything was nice actually. No untimely deaths, etc., etc. No diseases, pandemics, etc. Also. But nowadays he says, this is because of his rule, which is being pleased to Lord Sri Krishna. All the demigods are making sure that everything is being available to him in abundance. The cows were having fatty milk bags, and they were actually making the pasturing grounds wet because of their excessive milk. So much of milk was there, like that Prabhupada writes. And also he writes there, nowadays modern man thinks, everything he's a go-getter and he will do everything on his own. What is need of going to God, etc. So there Prabhupada questions, if that is the case, there are so many hospitals, big doctors, so much of technology is there. Why still patients are dying? If they have so much of ability and technological development, they have so much of belief in their own strength. Why why the patients are dying? They should not die in that case. And many times it is seen that doctors, they give up. Sorry, we tried everything, now nothing is working. Like there is a famous case, this Amit Vaidya. He had a cancer in the New York. Doctors, the best of the doctors, he gave him 4 months, and he came back to India. He goes on to live. The best of doctors, best of treatment cannot heal him, and they left him for dying. And the person, he took some in Gujarat, some cow therapy, and he continues to live now also to tell his story. There's a book written by him, The Holy Cancer, How a Cow Saved My Life. It is there on Amazon also. So the point here Srila Prabhupada mentions is, many times doctors, they give up the hope, and the patient continues to suffer. So how? Like that. Questions. Okay, anyway, please read. Arun Prabhu, next 2 paragraphs, please read.
Yes, Prabhu. Each demoniac person thinks that he can live at the sacrifice of all others. Generally, a demoniac person thinks of himself as the supreme God, and the demoniac preacher tells his followers, why are you seeking God elsewhere? You are all yourselves God. Whatever you like, you can do. Don't believe in God. Throw away God. God is dead. These are the demoniac preachers. Although the demoniac person sees others equally rich and influential, or even more so, he thinks that no one is richer than he, and that no one is more influential than he. As far as promotion to the higher planetary system is concerned, he does not believe in performing healthier or sacrifices. Demons think that they will manufacture their own process of yajna and prepare some machine by which they will be able to reach any higher planet. The best example of such a demonic man was Ravan. He offered a program to the people by which he would prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planets without performing sacrifices, such as are prescribed in the Vedas. Similarly, in the present age, such demonic men are striving to reach the higher planetary systems by mechanical arrangements. These are examples of bewilderment. The result is that without their knowledge, they are gliding toward hell. Here, the Sanskrit word mohaja is very significant. Jal means net. Like fish caught in a net, they have no way to come out.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So their hypocritical nature, dambha, we discussed earlier also, again it comes, dambhena vidipuru. 16.17. Atmasambhavita stabda dharmanam ananvita yajante nama yajneste dambhena avidipurvakam. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only without following any rules and regulations. Thinking themselves all in all, not caring for any authority scriptures, the demoniacs sometimes perform so-called religious or sacrificial rites. And since they do not believe in authority, they are very impudent. This is due to illusion caused by accumulating some wealth and false prestige. Sometimes such demons take up role of preacher, mislead the people, and become known as religious reformers or incarnations of God. They make a show of performing sacrifices, or they worship the demigods or manufacture their own god. So again, these things are coming up, and there's no dearth of such Babajis, Boas on the YouTube, social media, here, there, everywhere, right? Like that. Sometimes they will have a long, long beard, flowing beard, white beard, and they may speak also very eloquently. And sometimes devotees also may hear to them, and they may speak at the Oxford here, and they're very enchanter speakers, but actually they have no basis. Scripture is not the basis for them. They concoct their own philosophy and their own way, and not only that, they stop there. They blaspheme the devotees, the pure devotees also. They say, "What is this Hare Krishna?" By raising your arms up in the air, will anything happen? This, that. So people, they think they are very intelligent, brilliant, etc., etc. But this is all actually avidipurvaka. The word avidipurvaka meaning disregard for the rules and regulations, especially stressed here. These things are always due to ignorance and illusion. So their future is actually very, very dark. We discussed that earlier. 16.18. Further results. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam cha samshita mama atma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyaka. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Okay. So what is causing the envy? The material assets, prestige, accumulation of wealth and strength, that causes envy. And they do not know this life is actually the time which we have got for preparing our next life. And envious of their own self as well as others. They commit violence on the other bodies and his own self. Any demon comes to your mind when he talks about this own self? There was one demon who was doing like this, causing harm to his own body. There's one Vrukasur. He was putting his own flesh into the yajna, making yajna and sacrificing it for the Lord Shiva. And at last, he was supposed to, even Lord Shiva is not appearing, he was supposed to actually cut off his own head and offer it as an oblation. But then Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. He came and said, "Tell me what you want." And he said, "I want anybody's head. My hand goes, he should actually go into pieces like that." And then, because he's a demon, he started putting hand on the head of head of the Lord Shiva, because they wanted to enjoy Parvati like that. This is there in the Bhagavatam. And then they are the envious of Supreme Personality Godhead and blaspheme against the real religion. Hiranyakashipu and the Prahlad Maharaj is a typical case, we all know that. And thinks himself independent and powerful in every action. So we discussed about the Vena also, right? Vena was just by chanting some powerful mantras, Brahmanas, they actually just vanquished him like that. Okay. Now, So far we talked about demonic mentalities, their thought process, their actions, etc., their consequences. Now, what does Krishna does with them? Krishna's reciprocation with these demons. The 16.19. Tanaham dishita kruran samsareshu naradaman shipami ajastra shubhan asureshva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among the men, are perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. You know, tanaham, tana means those, aham, I, dvishata means they are envious towards me, those demons, kruran, they're actually very cruel, actually mischievous, cruel, and samsareshu naradhamam, they're the lowest among the men, the demons, and samsareshu in this material existence. What do I do with them? Kshipami, I put ajashram. Ajashram means Prabhupada translates forever, but our Acharya is also explaining to us that forever means it is repeatedly, again and again, like that say. So forever is actually not our philosophy. मी तुम्हाला call करतो class मध्ये. So forever is actually not our philosophy. Forever hell, forever heaven. This is not our Vedic philosophy, right? But here, ajashram means actually again and again, repeatedly, constantly, because they are actually like that. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, repeated. I cast those hateful, cruel, and lowest of humans, constantly doing evil, into repeated birth and death in the wombs of demons. And Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says, the translation, throw them again and again, ajashram, into births as sinful persons, hunters of riches involved with the violence and thirst for enjoyment. Okay, like that. So, if that is the case, because Krishna is putting them again and again into demoniac species, what is the hope for them? How they can be delivered? I mean, Prabhupada will mention this question in the next purport, that you claim that God is all merciful, right? If God is all merciful, because the demons are envious against the God, so is it God also reciprocating like this with them, tit for tat, like an ordinary human being? How will you answer? And what is the scope, what is the hope for such demons who have been repeatedly cast again and again, life after life, into demoniac species? So how can we say God is all merciful in that case then? Yes, please, Aruna Mataji.
Prabhuji, like by chance, this is what we have read in the second unit of Bhagavad Gita. By chance,
Clearly.
you cannot hear.
Yeah.
Um,
Slowly and
am I
come closer to the mic. Yes.
am I audible now, Prabhuji?
Yes.
I'm saying, Prabhuji, as we have studied in second unit of the Bhagavad Gita, like by chance association of a devotee, Krishna always showers mercy on such demanding of people
Okay.
by always sending devotees, prasad, and some kind of bhakti sukriti in their life. So they always get a chance. So this is how basically Krishna showers his mercy. That they
Fine.
always try.
Thank you. So you are saying Krishna is being merciful to them through his devotees. Krishna's mercy is available to them through devotees, through prasad, chanting, etc. Okay, books, etc. Fine, thank you. Madhav Harinam.
Yes, Prabhuji. So when they go to this animal kingdom and other species, after some evolutionary process, they again come to human life. And then when they get human life, they have the chance to associate with devotees. So in this way, Krishna is not making them permanent. There is evolutionary process. So
Okay, very nice. Thank you. Arun Prabhuji.
Almost in the same line, Prabhuji, by giving punishment or casting them into hell, Krishna, like whatever they have done, so Krishna is giving the result so that they can get out of it as soon as possible. And then always they have the free will to decide, and then if they will, then Krishna gives them chance association of the devotees.
Okay. By using their good use of misuse of free will, they have got into this situation. Now, if they can properly use their free will again into human life, then they have a chance. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Anything else, Kishore Madhav Prabhuji, or same?
Yeah.
If it is
Krishna says
different,
that
you only tell. Otherwise, we'll go ahead. If it is different, then
Krishna
tell.
says that Krishna says that even if he is the most abominable, apishuta duracharo, vajatama pratikam, he has a chance to come.
Okay, very nice. 9.30. Very nice verse. It's a glorification of bhakti process. Api chetasu durachara bhajate mam ananyamak sadhureva samanteva samyakeva vasatu. That is actually my order. If you don't follow this, then it's actually aparadha on our part. Yes, Prasanna Gopal.
Yes, Guruji, it is seen in the Bhagavatam also different places where the Narad Muni is going to the different planets and facilitating the demoniac people to get chance to see the devotee, and in turn they can develop their consciousness.
Yes.
Even Krishna also in different forms, like in Sutal Lok, Vaman Dev is guarding the Bali Maharaja's gate. So there also they are getting the darshan. So,
Okay.
and even Krishna, while Krishna doing certain activity, he might go to, let's say, I think in one of the case of in 10th canto, the Brahmana boy in Dwarka was killing again and again. Then Krishna goes different tantra systems. So while going, so all the demonic people might be seeing Krishna and getting Sukruti, and then they will get a chance to come into Krishna consciousness.
Yes, yes. Very nice. Okay, for all these answers are very good. So this one way is for sure short is when there are big demons like Ravana, Kamsa, Shishupal, etc. When they are personally being killed by Krishna, if you're so big demon, then when Krishna kills them, we saw last time, Ahobakiyam, Stanakala Kutam, this Putana, she was killed, but she was given a Datri's place in the spiritual world. So she's been delivered by Krishna. So Krishna, whether he kills, Maro bhi, rakho bhi, jo ichha tumhara. So there is effect is same because Krishna is absolute. Srila Prabhupada explains. So when Krishna kills them personally, then they have a chance of deliverance. That's one way. Second way we can think devotees, as all of you said. So in the third or sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Prabhupada compares a yogi. I think sixth chapter, 32nd verse. He compares a yogi to a devotee. A yogi is only going away in Himalayas and performing, Ashtanga yoga for his own benefit. But devotees, they are taking all the risk in their life and they're going and risking their life to pass on this message and deliver the whole world. Just like Srila Prabhupada went, all these hippies, not only hippies, even for us, what kind of life we were living before coming to ISKCON, and now at least we are trying to mend ways. So that is the mercy of Krishna coming through his devotees like Srila Prabhupada, and it is our what is that? Our responsibility. Now we continue this family business of not only book distribution but preaching also, so that others also similarly get benefited. So there, Srila Prabhupada writes, because a yogi is only trying to deliver himself, but devotee tries to deliver others, that is more pleasing to Krishna. And although in the third that this way a devotee is very superior to yogi, and in the third chapter, although Krishna says, don't disturb those people who are engaged in all kinds of abnormal activities, but still the devotee knows the purpose of the Lord. Therefore, again, Prabhupada writes there, they take all kinds of risk and go and preach the message of God because they understand the mind of Krishna. So, although Krishna is putting them again and again in this lower species, it is not that Krishna is not merciful. Just like it is a tough love. Sometimes the parents are there, tough love, they will make the child stand. I mean, in our childhood at least, they will make this, if you do some nonsense, they will in the night, that time, it's very different, days very different. So we're talking about 40, 50 years back. They will make us stand outside the house in the dark for some time. That's a punishment. So it is not that they're forever, being thrown out. Again, they will take. Srila Prabhupada also says, Mahatma Gandhi in his life, he was so angry with his wife, he asked her to get out of the house. And she was there for long times, standing or sitting there. And after some time, he opened the door and called her back again, like that. So Krishna is samam sarvabhuteshu name dveshwastina priya. Krishna is not an ordinary person like us. Because he didn't say Hare Krishna to me, so I will not say Hare Krishna. He didn't look at me, so I will not look at him. He is envious to me, so I'm envious to him. I will cast him into lower and lower species again. No, that is not Krishna. That is not our understanding of Krishna. Krishna is the most merciful. Krishna is the most merciful, as we see from the case of Putana and so many others also. And Krishna, as we mentioned also, Krishna is more eager than us to take us back home, back to Godhead. That's also Srila Prabhupada writes. So this is just a tough love the God is exhibiting, Krishna is exhibiting. But again, actually, he is very, very merciful through his agency of his devotees, etc., etc., like that. So, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan quotes from the Vedanta Sutra, Vaishamya Nigrunane na, means there is no prejudice or hatred in the Lord. The Lord is being compared to rains, rainfall on everywhere, whether it's ocean or a road or in the fields. Just like the sunlight is there, whether on the thief's house or king's house. Similarly, Lord is not partial, he's not hatred, he doesn't have any prejudice. He is equal to everyone. When he says, Named, aham, what is it? 9.26. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Name dvesho asti na priya. Nobody is dear and nobody I hate. Ye bhajanti tu. Tu means it is negation. प्रभु जी मेरा पैसा वापस दे दो ना. अरे मैं आपको पैसा वापस देने वाला ही था, लेकिन but means what? Now I'm not going to give you. Whatever I said earlier, I want to give you, but that means I don't have now. So I am equal to all, but means I'm not equal to all. Why? Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mahi te desh. Those who especially take to my devotional service, I'm fascinated by them. I make special arrangements to them. I'm in them, they are in me. Like we are never lost to each other like that. So, samoham sarva bhetishu, I'm impartially partial means the who can do bhakti, who can perform devotional service? Everybody is free. Lord has not barred anybody. Lord said at the time of Vibhishan surrender, what to speak of Vibhishan? Even if Ravana comes now and he surrenders to me, I will forgive him. And if he gives back Sita, I will forgive him. I will make him the king of this, that, etc. Like. So that is the nature of them. So he has not barred anybody from taking to devotional service, but not everybody will take. So therefore, those out of their own free will, proper use of free will, they take to the devotional service of the Lord. Lord is actually very, very partial to them. That is like, just like a king. Prabhupada gives the example. King is equal to, he's taking care of all the citizens. But let's say tomorrow king's son becomes sick. Oh, what not the king will do? King will do everything possible. He will go out of his reach to make his son come back to health again, like that. So that is actually the nature of the Lord. But here is actually showing is the tough love, like that. So, Bhakti Leela Mataji, can you please read the purport?
Yes, Prabhuji. 19, right? 19 verse.
Yes, yes.
In this verse, it is clearly indicated
20,
that
sorry, 20th.
it is known that God is all merciful. But here we find that God is never merciful to the
I'm
demonic.
sorry. I think we have to go back to 19.
19.
I thought I covered 20th, so I was a little excited. Yes.
In this verse, it is clearly indicated that the placing of particular individual soul in a particular body is the prerogative of the supreme will. The demoniac person may not agree to accept the supremacy of the Lord, and it is a fact that he may act according to his own whims, but his next birth will depend upon the decision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not on himself. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto, it is stated that an individual soul after his death is put into the womb of a mother where he get a particular type of body under the supervision of superior power. Therefore, in the material existence, we find so many species of life, animal, insect, man, and so on. All are arranged by the superior power. They are not accidental. As for the demoniac, it is clearly said here that they are perpetually put into the wombs of demons and thus they continue to be envious, the lowest of mankind. Such a demoniac species of men are held to be always full of lust, always violent and hateful and always unclean. The many kinds of hunters in the jungle are considered to belong to the demonic species of life.
So, any examples comes to your mind, especially Narad Muni and Mrugari, Valyakodi, Valmiki Rishi was there. So, all these cases are what? Actually, through the great sages like Narad Muni, great devotees, who is the Bhakti Shakti incarnation of the Lord, Narad Muni. So that's how the Lord's mercy flows through the devotees of the Lord. So the next verse already we discussed. We'll just read the purport because our discussion is already over, and then we'll stop. 16.20. Asurim yoni mapanna muda janmani janmani mama prappe kaunteya tato yanti adhamam gatim. Please read. Prasanna Gopal Prabhu.
It is known that God is all merciful, but here we find that God is never merciful to demonic. It is clearly stated that the demonic people, life after life, are put into the wombs of similar demons and not achieving the mercy of the Supreme Lord. They go down and down so that at last they achieve bodies like those of cats, dogs, and hogs. It is clearly stated that such demons have practically no chance of receiving mercy of God at any stage of later life. In the Vedas also it is stated that such persons gradually sink to become dogs and hogs. It may be then argued in this connection that God should not be advertised as all merciful if he is not merciful to such demons. In answer to this question, it is in the Vedanta Sutra, we find that the Supreme Lord has no hatred for anyone. Placing of the Asuras, demons, in the lowest status of life is simply another feature of his mercy. Sometimes the Asuras are killed by the Supreme Lord, but the killing is also good for them. For in the Vedic literature, we find that anyone who is killed by the Supreme Lord becomes liberated. There are instances in the history of many Asuras, Ravana, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, to whom the Lord appeared in various incarnations just to kill them. Therefore, God's mercy is shown to the Asuras if they are fortunate enough to be killed by him.
Okay, fine. Okay. So there was a verse 7:120. We'll read this and then we'll stop. Okay. One second, I'm just finding this. Because of the bodily conception. Okay. So who can read? Who can read? Madhav, Kishore Madhav, you can read from the screen. The translation. This is 7:125. Yes.
Because of the bodily conception of life, the conditioned soul thinks that when the body is annihilated, the living being is annihilated. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the Supreme Controller, the super soul of all living entities. Because he has no material body, he has no false conception of I and mine. It is therefore incorrect to think that he feels pleasure or pain when blasphemed or offered prayers. This is impossible for him. Thus, he has no enemy and no friend. When he chastises the demons, it is for their good. And when he accepts the prayer of the devotee, it is for their good. He is affected neither by prayers nor by blasphemy.
1 second. Okay, you read from here. Just except from this verse which is we are studying now. Just read here.
Krishna can expand himself as Paramatma in the core of everyone's heart. In Bhagavad Gita 13.3, this is confirmed. Kshetrajna Chapi. Sorry, I'm not able to read clearly because of font.
The Lord is Paramatma, the Atma of
the Lord is Paramatma, the Atma or super self of all individual souls. Therefore, it must naturally be concluded that he has no defective bodily conceptions. Although situated in everyone's body, he has no bodily conception of life. He is always free from such conception, and thus he cannot be affected by anything in relation to the material body of the Jiva.
And here you please read.
Yeah. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. Whenever the Lord punishes persons like demons, however, such punishment is meant for the good of the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul, being envious to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, may accuse him saying, Krishna is bad, Krishna is thief, and so on. But Krishna, being kind to all living entities, does not consider such accusations. Instead, he takes account of all conditioned souls chanting of Krishna, Krishna as many times. He sometimes punishes such demons for one life by putting them in lower species. But then, when they have stopped accusing him They are liberated in the next life because of chanting Krishna's name constantly. Blaspheming the Supreme Lord of devotee is not at all good for the conditioned soul. But Krishna, being very kind, punishes the conditioned soul in one life for such sinful activities and then takes him back home, back to Godhead. The vivid example of this is Vrutasura, who was formerly Chitrakeshu Maharaj, a great devotee, because he degraded Lord Shiva, the foremost of all devotees. He had to accept the body of a demon called Vruta, but then he was taken back to Godhead. Thus, when Krishna punishes a demon or conditioned soul, he stops that soul habit of blaspheming him. And when the soul becomes completely pure, the Lord takes him back to God.
So wonderful example of Vitrasura. Another reason it is being given here, by putting them in the lower species, he stops their first the blasphemy and then also takes them back home, back to Godhead. So that's the merciful and wonderful Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, fine. So how many verses we covered? 20th, right? So we still have 3-4 verses, the last section of the verses of this chapter. So we'll see that next time. Okay. So any questions or comments anybody has from the discussion, whatever we discussed today so far? Madhav Harinam Prabhuji, yes, please.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. That we study these demoniac personalities. So, is that those who are pious, are they also demoniac? Because those who do pious activities, they of course they will get good or better life. So, but though the pious people may not accept the authority of Lord, or they don't accept the Supreme Lord, but still they can do pious work. So is that they belong to demoniac? And another question is that
Okay, we'll take one by one. So I think, see, as far as Srila Prabhupada is there, now our Lord Sri Krishna is giving description in the chapter 16. Srila Prabhupada doesn't consider any in-between category. He says either you are a devotee or you are a devotee, right? Yeah, either you are a asura or you are a devotee. So if you are not a devotee, you are a pakka demon. So whether then it will be decided, what degree led demon you are. Whether you are, just like we have Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Kanishtadhikari. Similarly, you have to think whether that what kind of demon level you are. Whether you are like Ravana and Kamsa, or whether Hiranyakashipu, and like Srila Prabhupada says, in Kali Yuga, everybody is like tiny Hiranyakashipu, or everybody is Dhritarashtra in Kali Yuga, like that. So when you say pious means are they doing activities based on the scriptures? If they're following scriptures, then they should not be. But if they're not following and they're in general, you're calling them pious materialistic. So that is a different category. But as long as one comes to the Krishna consciousness or worshipping the Supreme Personality of God, it's Sri Krishna, it is not a stable platform. We saw that last time also. Even in Brahmajyoti, they are also transcendentalists, are they not? They are doing tapasya, they are doing austere life, they are studying scriptures, they are studying Vedanta Sutra. But they may go up to that level, but Srila Prabhupada says that is also non-Krishna conscious situation, even in Brahmajyoti, because they have not taken the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Then what to speak of if someone is blaspheming Krishna, or deriding avajananti mamura manushim tanumashtam param bhavajantu mama bhutamaishwara. So moghasha, mogha karmano, all their jnana, all their pious activities, actually moghasha, mogha karmano, all their so-called pious activities are also actually nullified. They are of no use actually, because not taking shelter of Krishna or his devotees. So that is the general understanding. Now, if you have to speak about any specific case, then we will have to discuss specifically what is their day-to-day activity, what they are doing, what they are not doing, etc. But this is the general understanding.
and another Prabhuji, here also Krishna says to Arjuna that you don't worry, you have already born from the Daivic qualities. And also in the previous verse, Dambho Darpa Vimanasya Krodha Parashimevacha Agyanam Avijatasya. Avijatasya means he is born of.
Born with, yes.
And Prabhupada also write these demoniac qualities are taken on from them from very beginning of their bodies in their wombs of their mothers. And as they grow, they manifest all their inauspicious quality. So these demoniac qualities, they are from inside. not they came by the association, but they are carried from their wombs or from their previous life, it means.
Yeah, Abhijatasya means we are born with. What is the meaning of Garbhadhana Samskar? We discussed that, right? Garbhadhana Samskara means what we are trying to do. We are trying to be in proper consciousness. We are trying to be, chanting, being Krishna conscious as much as possible, so that we can invite such a soul. So similarly, that soul where he will go is already pre-decided. So similarly, you will get father and mother accordingly, and father and mother will get the child accordingly. Is it not? So somebody is born with certain qualities only from, because it is our ongoing life. Now it is not the fresh we are starting at the time of birth. It is ongoing from previous accumulation. So many lifetimes it is going on. So many impressions, so many activities, so much of karma. Karma bag is already there on our back, and with that we are born again into the next life. Of course, association also helps. Samskaras also help. What kind of samskaras your parents, your surroundings they give you, and what kind of parents. So it depends on the birth, it depends on your previous life, it depends on your training and education. Even though no matter whatever you are born and how it is born, by training in Krishna consciousness, everything can be nullified with the strength of bhakti. So, but the short answer to your question is yes, when we are born with so much of baggage, subtle body, karma, etc. from the previous life, and that's how we continue. And you are placed in such parents' house, in such particular house. Karmana daiva netrena jantur dehu. We discussed that also last time. 331.1 from Bhagavad. So it is as per our karma and as per the supervision of the higher authorities. Both it is there. So everything matters. The birth matters, the previous activities matter, the samskaras matter, and upbringing matters, and training and education. All these things they matter. Correct. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Arun Prabhu.
I had I had question regarding Dhamma. Like we discussed in 16.4 that Dhamma is like when someone is not of the level but shows that he is of higher level. But sometimes I personally have feeling that like I do not possess some quality or I don't have something. But then seniors tend to see and then give seva like that. And even if I say them that I cannot do this or I'm not qualified, then they don't hear or they don't take it, but they say that do it only. Then in this case, how should we understand?
What needs to be understood?
Like when I'm saying that I don't have some quality, so does it mean that I have been showing off, but even I don't know, or the devotees have or the senior devotees have understood like that?
Okay, fine. Yes, so it's a generic question, so I'll also answer it general way. So both ways have to be balanced. Sometimes for doing some specific sevas, you need to have certain skill set, some experience to do it effectively, etc. Right? And sometimes devotees have no choice. When Srila Prabhupada started the movement, everything was on the war footing only, right? Somebody was just having some knowledge, immediately he was made the editor of the, Back to Godhead magazine. He was a English professor or studied English, MA, whatever it's like that. So they had no experience, no skills like that. But Srila Prabhupada empowered them. So along with the instructions also comes the empowerment. That also we have to see. So it needs to be balanced in the way that when we have to be frank, and the devotee we have to also understand the situation. Sometimes somebody say, okay, you sing kirtan. Now I don't know how to sing kirtan, I don't know how to play kartal, I don't know anything. But if there is no one available better than me, then I mean, rather than simply saying, no, I cannot do that, sir, I have never done it, then I sing whatever I heard, Hare Krishna, whichever way. So that is to my glory, in the sense Krishna will acknowledge, although he is submissive, accepting the authority, and is being told and is doing, although he is not qualified like. So one has to be humble, one has to be communicating very properly. Otherwise, many times it happens, the devotees are being put into some services, and they are actually very miserable in that position also, because they neither have inclination to do that, neither they have the skills to do that, and somebody's just telling them continue like that because there's no other option or whatever, and then they continue, so they don't find inner satisfaction also. So we are not so pure that even though we don't have anything, we can do some miracles, etc., against all the odds. So that is also not our situation. So neither we have to be artificially humble, neither we have to if you have any trouble, we should communicate with these whosoever is the authority or the authority's authority, and try to come out of the situation if you are not comfortable, if you are not able to do the service very properly or effectively, like that. So we have to balance both the ways.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
थैंक यू। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, उपस्थित गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Very good.